Hello, UCLA Radio. This is Dr. Note the Bloop, and this is our interview with Greg Sestero. Yeah, so I gotta say, I finished your book, and I mean, that's all. And I'm not like I'm not just trying to flatter or anything, but I mean, it's really amazing. It's really like, I'm really impressed by the by the way you tell it, and by the way you open up about the material. So I'm curious. I mean, this is a very basic question, but what motivated you to write this book?
Really, I felt like there was such a story behind this movie. I think people see it and they think it's this terrible movie, and I feel like the story behind it is really interesting and taps into a lot of things that I don't think anyone would think would be behind it. And so, really, my goal with the story is to tell sort of this kind of unlikely, inspiring story behind this bad movie, and to share my experience of what it was like to be there, and to go through it all.
I see. Yeah, and well, I gotta say, it is very inspiring, especially because having seen The Room, you come away like you said, it's like it's not a great movie, but knowing all the stuff that went behind it, I have a new appreciation for it, and I think other readers will have that appreciation too.
Yeah, I think when you watch the movie and you see it, and that's obviously, it is what it is, but I feel like there's a very personal touch to it, and I think that's what people are definitely responding to.
Yeah. It's very apparent in the book that it was a very personal project for Tommy Wiseau, and it even it ended up affecting you very much, obviously.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah. So you worked with Tom Bissell on this, who is an author himself. So how did that collaboration come about between you guys?
I read an article he wrote in Harper's Magazine about the film, and I really liked his take on the phenomenon and the film itself and Tommy, and so I really felt like he was kind of the ideal co-writer to help tell the story.
I see. Yeah, and so what was the relationship between you two guys as you were working on the book? Would you write it, and then he would edit it, or was it different?
I kind of wrote out my experience in full and kind of came up with kind of stories and where the chapters would kind of go, and then we read it out together on tape, and then he took that and rewrote his version of it, and we kind of went back and forth for a while. So we both co-wrote the story, and I just thought it was much of my experiences, and we kind of cut them down and to have them fit into chapters that follow the narrative.
I see. Yeah, and it's what's really impressive about the book is how much you open up about everything, the making the room, but also your friendship with Tommy, what your career, your early career. I think that was really impressive, and well, what was it like did you have any trouble or trepidation about opening up about certain parts the removal of Don from who's supposed to play Mark originally, and you're replacing him? Did you have any trepidations about revealing that?
Yeah, I feel like if I was going to tell the story, the best way to do it was just to be as honest as possible with both, the funny things, the good things, the bad things, and that was really the only way to do it. I felt like there was no point in holding back and sugarcoating the experience. I felt like if I was going to do it, I just needed to be honest.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, the book certainly doesn't suffer for that. Well, yeah, and so did you reach out to the people, your coworkers, and say, "Hi, I'm writing a book about The Room, and I'm going to say this"?
I interviewed pretty much everybody involved. So, just get their take on it, and then same thing with crew members and stuff. I just wanted it to be as true to everyone's experience as possible, and I had a lot of behind the scenes footage I was able to watch to give me some good material to work with. So yeah, I went in as deep as I could to convey the experience.
Yeah, it must have been a really I think it was it must have been a task to ask Tommy permission to disclose all this personal information that you revealed about him because he is, as everybody knows, notoriously reclusive. So, was there any trouble with that in particular?
A lot of stuff I interviewed him when I was doing the book, and there's some stuff obviously that he didn't want revealed, and which I left out. But
I see.
It was basically stuff that I interviewed him on that we'd gone over.
I see. Yeah. Well, yeah, it's interesting what you did reveal because it really humanizes Tommy, and I think that's another major triumph of the book, and it's an amazing story, the friendship between you and him. Because it's just you really come to understand him, and I don't know, it's just I don't know, it's just really impressive. And do you have any when you first met him, what made you approach him? Because I remember you said you were just he was performing the Stella scene from A Streetcar Named Desire, and what made you approach him? You were kind of shocked, but you were drawn to him.
There was something really different about him. And I thought, from where I was at, in my life, I thought he was really interesting, and different. I felt like he was somebody I wanted to find out more about.
I see. Yeah, and you found out a lot, and you ended up being part of the room, so that's pretty impressive, And you weren't even planning on being part of the room originally. You were just in the background, and then before you knew it, you were his co-star. So that's amazing.
This whole experience that I've learned is you never know what life has in store for you, and of all the things I've ever done, the room obviously was something I expected a whole lot from, obviously, but ended up opening the door to a lot of crazy experiences that I'm awfully grateful for.
Oh yeah, and you had of course. I don't think a lot of people appreciate this fact about you, but you had a career outside the room. That wasn't even your first film. You were in Retro Puppet Master, which you touch upon in the book. So.
The room more for me was just kind of helping out a friend who wanted to make a movie. It wasn't something that I took. Seriously, it was just something kind of trying to help out a friend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you knew you became well, I'm not sure if it was a client exactly, but you became acquainted with Iris Burton, who was a very prominent agent in Hollywood. She had worked on the Ten Commandments, and she really helped you out. So would you like to tell our listeners about that experience?
Yeah, she was a really great great agent with a lot of character. I kind of caught her later in her career, and it was a really good experience going through that and dealing with that point in my life in Hollywood. I thought she'll always be a special character.
I see. Yeah, and basic when you were working with her, you were juggling your friendship with Tommy, trying to keep just rein in his eccentricity, and just cope because you were living with him at the time. So did you ever did you feel that he was inhibiting you, or in the long run, did you that he enabled? Well, not enabled you. Sorry, he jump started your career with overall.
Yeah, he was definitely very helpful, without a doubt.
Mm-hmm. See, and what was the? Well, it was it was a rough relationship. So I'm curious, I need to detail a lot of I guess of conflicts between you and Tommy while you were living together. You what was the hardest point in your life before the room, during the production of the room, and before that, between you and Tommy? What was the hardest point?
I think anytime you come to LA and you're trying to make it, you're dealing with constant rejection and living in tight quarters, and it's never easy. I don't think it'd be easy with any roommate. So I think looking back, Tommy was a very entertaining friend, kind of quirky, eccentric, kind of a vampire vibe, but I think he was very supportive, just in a very different way, and the experience was a positive one, looking back.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, and yeah, and as has been mentioned many times before, the room has taken on a life of its own. Has being in the room opened doors for you? I mean, you've obviously written your book, The Disaster Artist, about it, but have people approached you for like roles in movies or TV or anything?
Yeah, there's been things, I kind of stay away from any sort of cameo type
Mm.
stuff. I just did a movie that was really fun to work on. It stars Patton Oswalt and Andrew WK.
Oh, okay.
The guys from 5 Second Films. That was a really cool experience. So, it's been, the room has opened me up to a lot of cool experiences and introduced me to a lot of great people. And I think from here, kind of going forward, it's like what I end up doing with the opportunities that come my way and prove myself as somebody who has more to offer than just kind of a role in a bad movie.
I see. I see. Yeah, and yeah. Well, having helped Tommy produce the room, do you think there's any chance of you directing your own film in the future?
Well, I think that would be definitely a great challenge. I hope someday that it goes that direction.
I see. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see. Maybe. Yeah, and actually, there's talk of the Disaster Artist into a film, and possibly involving James Franco, Seth Rogen, and some other prominent people. And do you have any involvement with that, or are you just like giving them the rights to do that?
Yeah, it's still early, but I think it's great. I think it's really exciting.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. It's very it's interesting. I'm really curious about how it'll turn out. It's just because I don't know. It's just such a great story. And out of the most unlikely thing. So. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's really a very an unlikely odd success story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so do you what do you still well, I mean, outside of like room screenings or like I guess like appearances, do you keep in touch with the other members of the room, like Philip Haldeman who played Denny, or
Yeah, no, I definitely do. Keep in touch with them with just about everybody.
Oh, okay, good, cool, cool. Yeah, and yeah, do you have what do you and what's Tommy Wiseau up to now? I mean, I don't know. He's like you don't live with him anymore, so you don't have quite the same tabs on him
Yeah,
now.
no, that was short and sweet. No, he's working on projects and touring and stuff, and doing his thing.
Mm-hmm. He's living out his dream, right?
Yeah, I mean it's crazy. He made a movie that I'm sure people are still excited to see 10 years later. So I think that's pretty exciting for him.
Yeah, yeah, it is, and it's exciting and inspiring. Especially just because like I don't know, because I mean like everybody agrees the room isn't of good quality, but I mean it's just went behind it. The production, the story, like why Tommy wrote it, like that's inspiring. It kind of reminds me of like Ed Wood. Because his movies weren't great, but you really felt he
Yeah,
really.
I mean, I think you just got to give credit that he actually went through and made the film. I think that's a great accomplishment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 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 and I mean, and especially after reading about what he did disclose about his life. I mean, it's really like you really feel for the guy, and I mean, it's just like you just can't like dismiss him as some crank, that some alien vampire crank. It's just like you really have to understand what he went through and why he turned
Yeah,
out the
so
way he
he just
did.
said that this is a different way of approaching things, and for him it worked
Mm-hmm.
in a very, I'm sure, in a very different way than he expected. But yeah, I think it worked out really well.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like Tommy Wiseau is an inspiration to us all now. After reading her book, that's all I can say. It's just like, and not in an ironic way, I would say. Yeah. Well, you were so when you were writing, who we like, who were you thinking of when you were writing? Because I mean, writing is a very difficult thing, especially when you're going to publish, like, show it to other people, much less publish it. So, like, did you have any influences, or like, were you thinking of any specific examples when you were writing?
Yeah, I read a lot of Truman Capote, um, Patricia Highsmith. There was a lot of books that I read while I was preparing that the writers I really responded to. I think Truman Capote was really somebody I thought was really inspiring.
I see, I see. Which of his books did you, in particular, find inspiring? Like Breakfast at Tiffany's, In Cold Blood? What?
I think Cold Blood was the one I wanted to the most. I felt like I liked the kind of the relationship between Capote and Harry Smith. I thought the dynamic was really interesting about this guy who killed his family. The more you found out about him, the more you felt for him. So I like that kind of complex that went back and forth. I thought it was really interesting.
Yeah, yeah, and you kind of see that in the Disaster Artist, because like Tommy, what's it called, wasn't the easiest guy to be friends with, much less to live with. But over time, you felt for him, and you understood why he acted the way he did. So
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
yeah, so it's that's interesting to me. So and if you I'm curious. This is hypothetical. If you had never been in the room, do you think you'd ever have written any book about anything? Not.
I don't think so. I think writing a book takes so much dedication, so much work. I don't think I mean, I don't know, but the story really inspired me, and I felt like I was really passionate about it, and it took a lot to get it there. So it would have been hard for us to know something that would have come along that would have pushed me this hard to write something. But I'm grateful for it, for sure.
Yeah, yeah, and I want to thank you again for making The Room and writing this book about it. So just because it's both so big, so much you're trying to.
Yeah,
Oh, you're welcome.
I'm really glad that you enjoyed it.
Yeah. I mean, I speak for many people. I can assure you of that when I say that. Yeah, and so sorry, you're working on an audiobook version of it too, and
yeah, I recorded that last month, and it comes out on Monday. It's really a lot of fun to kind of go back and read the story. I felt like it gave kind of put a different life into the book and into the story. So the audiobook was something I really enjoyed.
Yeah, and the interesting thing about audiobooks is like there's an acting aspect to it, because you're reading the book as if it were a copy of like a script, and so you have to act along with that. So, what were the main differences? I mean, obviously between you're not able to see voice actors. The main difference between like acting for a film and acting like for an audiobook or like any other voiceover project.
Well, it's just really kind of carrying a story and entertaining the reader. I had to play, obviously, two main characters, myself and Tommy, and so kind of going back and forth and staying in character for both people was a challenge, but I really enjoyed it because I had lived it, so it was cool to be able to act it out.
I see. Yeah, and well, with that being said, do you think you might try your hand at other voiceover projects like cartoons, commercials?
I enjoyed it. I think at some point, if it came my way, for sure, I'd definitely be open to it.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see a cartoon with you in it. I mean, it wouldn't be much of a leap, because like I said, you were in Retro Puppet Master, which you talked about in your book, so you have other stuff besides The Room under your belt. Yeah, and
I'll be at UCLA on Wednesday night at 8 p.m. doing a little speaking engagement and showing behind-the-scenes documentary, so I'm looking forward to that. UCLA was always the university I wanted to attend.
Oh, really? Oh, sweet. Yeah, what's it called? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I used to come on play in the intramural field back when I first moved to LA. I'd go play soccer and football and stuff. So UCLA was always like my favorite university.
Oh, okay, I see. So it'll be kind of like coming back home, I guess, or at least for soccer.
Definitely.
Yeah, and I'm sure you'll be more than welcome there because I mean, there's a lot of people who love The Room on campus, and in radio too, UCLA radio too. So we'll be there.
Yeah, no, UCLA is a great school, and I'm really looking forward to coming out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we're excited, and yeah. Well, actually, I think we're going to wrap the interview up, but I do want to ask you one last question. What kind of project do you want to work in most of all? Like acting, writing, anything?
I think the next I'm really interested in doing, I just shot this film, which is a blast, kind of a horror movie. I'd love to tackle a kind of an indie drama film, kind of offbeat, like something totally different. That's what I'm looking to do next.
I see, I see. Oh, okay. And any chance of you writing and producing and directing that?
There's a couple book ideas I had. Everyone's kind of been asking for a sequel to the Disaster Artist, so what happened since, and so there's a few projects I have in my mind, but I'm interested in making some films, for now, but we'll see, we'll see how that goes.
Okay, all right. So all right then. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Sestero. It was great to have you on. And
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for
yeah,
having me.
yeah. All right. So well, this is Greg Sestero. He co-starred in The Room by directed by Tommy Wiseau, and he wrote The Disaster Artist, which is about about the production of The Room, and it's available. It's available in stores and online now. And he'll be here at UCLA at Grand Kirkhoff Hall this Wednesday. So thank you very much, Mr. Sestero, and have a great day.
Thank you.